Goal: call functions from other functions. Up to now, the functions you have defined have only called existing commands such as move forward and collect gem. It doesn't have to be this way though. The function turn around directs your character to turn around and face the opposite direction. You can call this function inside another function. Solve stare and call solve stare in your code to solve bigger parts of the puzzle. This process of breaking a larger problem into smaller pieces is called decomposition. Define the solve stare function calling turn around inside of it. Call solve stare along with the other functions you need. Solve the puzzle by collecting all 4 gems. Solve stare would be something like move forward and collect gem, turn around, move forward. And this simply would be 2 turn lefts, because we want to turn around, so 180 degrees. 2 turn rights would work as well, but would cost us much more time. The goal we want to achieve with this function is basically we always want to come back to this point. The decomposition, which is described here, is very important. When I have a big problem in a complicated program, I usually add lots of problems because I wanted to directly think ahead and then from the start with the first lines of code do everything properly so the end goal could actually be achieved. A friend of mine helped me with this approach because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Since it's much more efficient if you set yourself small goals in programming. If you have a big problem, like for example collecting all gems, you don't think about collecting all gems and trying to have the first lines of code being arranged with this end goal, but you think about how to get the first gem or how to automate a process of simply solving one stare. And this is really something that is important for real big problems in complicated applications. And I think like one of the main skills a programmer should have is decomposing big problems in smaller ones and then going step by step. I write with professional programs kind of code that looks a little bit basic, I would say. But what I found out when I watched many tutorials of other people, that coding code that looks basic or simple is actually a good thing, because some people make really crazy stuff and this is usually not a good thing. You should use as less code as possible, except lesser code makes it much harder to actually see what you're doing. So sometimes I prefer a solution which needs more lines of code simply because it's better to understand more lines of code which talk a simple language than writing, for example, a crazy command with lots of specific commands, in-nested commands or whatever, which nobody kind of understands. Here you can actually see like that we can call a function within another function, so we kind of have a sub-function. We have solve stare, then we end up here. Then we turn left, end up here, turn left, end up here, turn left, end up here. So actually, why don't we implement turn left as well? And here, this should be really the most simple and most efficient solution to this problem. Incredible job, you have broken a large problem into smaller, more manageable pieces. This process is called decomposition. Combining functions to solve a big problem is called composition. Congratulations, you have becoming a great problem solver. The text you just saw is important again, I would say, because programming is nothing else than a tool for you to solve problems. I consider myself not as a programmer or as a coder, but simply as a problem solver who likes to use programming and coding to actually achieve, to be able to solve problems. Goal: decompose a solution across multiple functions. As you have just learned, it can be very useful to define a function that accomplishes a small task. Then call that function within another function to accomplish an even bigger task. This practice makes your code more readable, because you can name a function based on its purpose. For example, turn around. It also simplifies the process of writing code, because after you've written a function to perform a bigger task, you no longer have to think about the individual commands. Run the code to see what happens when solve row is called. Tweak the code inside solve row so it solves a bigger chunk of the puzzle. Call solve row along with other commands to solve the puzzle. Unfortunately, I already solved this thing, so I simply leave everything empty and we will start ahead. So a row is this. So they're basically the same because the stairs don't matter. So here we don't have a turnaround function. So therefore, collect gem turnaround could be something like move forward, collect gem, turn around, move forward, because these steps are always the same. You always go here, or you go from here to here. Okay, we simply program this in. So because there is no turnaround function, we simply use 2 times turn left. So this leaves us when we are here already. Can move forward, collect gem, turn left, move forward. Okay, so solve row. What we simply want to do is actually that we always, when we solve the row, we turn right, move forward, and then turn left, and then solve the row again. So in this function, we want to call this function. So the first thing we have to do is move forward, then we have to collect gem turn around, then we end up here, then we have to move forward, because then we can call it again, then we end up here, and we can move forward. So in between here, we have to turn right, move forward, and left. Again, we will not end up like here or somewhere, but we will actually end up here. But for this program, it doesn't matter where we end up, and this should be just a little bit of code to actually solve the problem, because we'll go this row, then this row, then this row, and then we will go here. You are really getting this by using decomposition to break down a larger problem into smaller, more manageable parts. You are making your code more readable and reusable. That's it for today. I'll make another video where we'll solve the rest of the chapter. I hope you're having fun so far and that my examples from outside of this program are kind of beneficial for you and are taking away your fear and showing you that it's good to start with programming, and this is really a good start to go for. And with the interest to solve more complex problems, your skills will automatically improve, and therefore you should be not afraid of at one day solving complicated problems, because it will be actually quite fun for you after you got the basics right and you can actually have fun in solving complicated things. When I started programming, at first it felt very, very heavy because it took me a long time to get the basics right, but at a point when I was able to solve complicated problems and write proper code, which was easy to read and understand, it was really fun for me to actually be able to solve complicated problems and bring a good user experience to the things I programmed. So, see you next time.